There's an ancient style of archery that's been gaining more and more of a following recently. It's been used by medieval archers in Europe, Native Americans in the Americas, and the ninja of feudal Japan. Instinctive archery is a means of aiming by not aiming that dates back thousands of years. It's the practice of shooting a bow, normally a traditional wooden bow, longbow, or recurve bow, with no attached sights. That means no pin sights, scopes, or peep sights. Recently, more and more archers are getting back into the style of traditional archery, nothing but the archer with a bow and arrow. It gets back to the pure talent, practice, and skill of archery from the days of old. The sense of accomplishment from landing a 50-yard shot exactly where you wanted it without the aid of any scopes or sights is amazing. Many traditional archers will say that it flat out dwarfs that of any target archer with a pin sight, target stabilizer, and whatever other fancy modern-day gear and accessories they use. There are two main styles considered to be the most used and most effective forms of instinctive archery, namely gap shooting and purely instinctive archery, or a see it and shoot it sort of approach. While there are some archers, or purists, that will argue that gap shooting is not instinctive archery, many others will agree that these are just different types or different forms of instinctive archery, each having their own specific uses. I consider gap shooting to be instinctive archery, as it is what most people who've never held a bow literally instinctively do when they try to shoot. Ask any kid to shoot a bow, they'll usually close one eye while instinctively lining up the arrow with the target with the other. So to me, if that's what people really do instinctively go to, it's a real part of instinctive archery. One way to think about it is that gap shooting is conscious aiming, while the see and shoot method is subconscious aiming. There are times when you want to use gap shooting, and it will outshoot the see and shoot instinctive archer, but there are other situations where this is completely reverse, and see it and shoot it will have more accuracy. When you're shooting in a straight line with little or no obstacles, gap shooting tends to win out. However, when you're shooting up or down hills or inclines with trees and brush obscuring your view, see and shoot will have the advantage. This is because gap shooting makes you great at discerning range by sight over time with lots of practice, while the see it and shoot it approach allows you to quickly and accurately shoot in challenging situations. So let's cover the basics of instinctive archery. Regardless of which method of shooting you're using, there are some things that you'll need to do to make either of them work well for you. It's much easier to install a good habit than it is to correct and replace a bad one. So pay attention, especially if you're new to archery. If you're an experienced archer, chances are you'll have adopted or been taught at least some of the following tips, techniques, and best practices. The first thing is your stance. You've probably heard it before, but your stance is very important in any type of archery. The reason you've heard it before is because it's true. Stand at a 90-degree angle to the target. The target should be directly in line with the outside edge of your non-dominant foot. For right-handed archers, this means that the outside edge of your left foot should be lined up directly with the target. You should be sideways facing the target, and as you get better and more comfortable, you can vary how far sideways you're facing. But for now, just stick with the side facing the target. And while you're at it, make sure that your feet are standing at least shoulder width apart from each other. The next thing is your shot sequence. One thing that's very important for both styles of instinctive shooting is the consistency of your shot sequence. Your shot sequence is just all of the things that you do leading up to each shot. For example, checking that your stance is correct, knocking your arrow on the bowstring, drawing the bow to your anchor point, looking at the spot on the target that you're aiming for, releasing the arrow, and finally following through with the shot. It's important to develop a shot sequence that's exactly the same every time. You must do all of the same things in the exact same order before every shot. This is important as it gets the shot sequence trained in the subconscious mind over time, so it becomes second nature to do this with every single shot. The next thing to focus on is your bow grip. The grip of your bow hand should be light, almost as if the bow is only slightly resting on the top of your hand. No tight gripping of the bow. Get in the habit of checking that you're only gently supporting the bow as part of your shot sequence. Another thing to focus on is your draw hand grip. Most Western archers today shoot what is known as Mediterranean draw, which is using the index, middle, and ring fingers to draw the bowstring back. There are two main types of the Mediterranean draw. Some archers shoot split finger, with the index finger being above the arrow while the middle and ring fingers are below the arrow, while many others shoot 3 under, where all 3 fingers are under the arrow. For gap shooting, you'll more likely want to use the 3 under. as it holds the arrow closer to your eye, which makes it easier to aim and more accurately shoot each arrow. Many people also prefer the 3-under grip for see it and shoot it as well, but you could shoot split finger if it feels more natural to you that way. Either way, you should hold the string in the meat of your fingers, past the fingertips but not so far as it falls into the first joint of your fingers. If you shoot with the bowstring in the first joint of your fingers, your string release will be jagged and will really throw off your shot. I've put up a complete breakdown of both gap shooting and the see and shoot it styles of instinctive archery on my site. It'll not only teach you exactly how to shoot both of these styles, but it also includes practice exercises for both styles of shooting. It's got everything that you want to know about instinctive archery, gap shooting, and the see it and shoot it styles of archery. It's up right now, and it's free, so start learning both styles of instinctive archery today. You can check it out right now at archerydude.com/shoot. That's archerydude.com/shoot. And we'll see you there.